Every single day, probably dozens of times a day, we navigate our world using a technology we just completely take for granted. But behind that little blue dot on your screen, there's a hidden story. It's the story of a quiet genius whose meticulous work, well, it made everything possible. And it's a story you're gonna wanna hear. Okay, let's start with a number. 6.5 billion. That's how many devices, from your phone to your car to emergency helicopters, all rely on the foundational math figured out by one person. And what about this number? $1.4 trillion. That's the value her work has added to the US economy alone. It's not an exaggeration to say she literally helped shape our modern world. So that leads to the big question, right? With an impact this massive, how come her name remained in the shadows for decades? Well, her story is one of quiet brilliance, of unbelievable barriers, and a legacy that was almost lost to history. To really get her story, we have to go back to the beginning, and not to some high-tech lab, but to a small farm in rural Virginia. This is where a young girl started dreaming of a life far, far beyond the horizon she could see. Gladys West was born in 1930, the daughter of sharecroppers. Her childhood was just defined by hard labor, picking corn, cotton, tobacco. Her school, a segregated one-room building with leaky ceilings and hand-me-down books. I mean, the odds were just completely stacked against her from day one. She saw one way out: education. In her memoir, she wrote this, and it feels less like a wish and more like a mission statement. I wished and dreamed, if only I could fly away from the strenuous work on our family farm. She just knew that numbers were going to be her ticket out. And you know what? She made that dream a reality. Through just sheer determination and incredible academic talent, she forged a path that led her from those tobacco fields all the way to one of the nation's most advanced military research facilities. Just look at this relentless momentum. She graduates top of her class, earns a full scholarship, gets her bachelor's, then her master's in math, a field completely dominated by men at the time. After getting passed over for government jobs again and again, a 1955 anti-discrimination order finally cracked a door open, and in 1956, she walked right through it. But she didn't just get a job, she broke this huge barrier. Can you even imagine the pressure? She was one of only 4 Black employees at the entire facility. She said that conversations would often just stop dead when she walked into a room. She felt like she had to be perfect, not just for herself, but to pave the way for others. And it was there she also met her husband, Ira West, who was another one of those 4 pioneers. So, at the Naval Proving Ground, she was given a monumental task, a problem that would form the very bedrock of what would eventually become the Global Positioning System. She had to calculate the exact shape of the Earth. Now, we all learn in school that the Earth is a sphere, right? But for precise satellite calculations, that is nowhere near good enough. The Earth is actually what's called a geoid. It's kind of lumpy and irregular. Think more like a potato than a perfect marble. Its gravitational pull actually varies all over the surface, and to make GPS work, you need an incredibly precise mathematical model of that lumpy shape. That was her job. Just think about the complexity here. Her calculations had to factor in everything that could possibly distort the planet's shape. We're talking tiny variations in gravity, the pull of the moon creating tides, even magnetic forces. It was a puzzle on a planetary scale. And to solve it, she programmed this absolute beast, the IBM 7030 Stretch supercomputer. It was literally the size of a house. And for more than a decade, she fed it algorithms to crunch billions of calculations, refining the model of our planet with an accuracy no one had ever seen before. Let me put it this way. Without her work, GPS simply wouldn't have the precision. So, Dr. West retired in 1998 after 42 years of service, and her world-changing contributions were basically known only to her colleagues. For all intents and purposes, she was a hidden figure. And then, completely by accident, that started to change. Her rediscovery is an amazing story in itself. Around 2017, she submitted a short little bio for an alumni event for her sorority, Alpha Kappa Alpha. A fellow member read it and was just stunned. Women who had known her for 15 years had no idea, and the timing was just perfect, coming right after the movie Hidden Figures had opened the world's eyes to stories just like hers. And once the story was out, Man, the recognition came pouring in. A standing ovation from the Virginia Senate, an induction into the Air Force Hall of Fame, the prestigious Prince Philip Medal, making her the first woman ever to receive it. And finally, a legacy cemented for future generations, the Gladys West Elementary School. Okay, so let's circle all the way back to those big numbers we started with. This quiet, meticulous work wasn't just some academic exercise. It became the foundation of a multi-trillion-dollar economic engine that touches pretty much every part of our lives. This chart really shows how pervasive her work is. Yeah, a whopping 51% of that economic benefit, that's just from telecommunications. The timing signals from GPS are absolutely essential for 4G and 5G networks. And then you've got vehicle tracking, ride-sharing apps, food delivery, precision farming, banking. Seriously, the list is endless. And here's a fantastic little detail that just tells you so much about her. Despite being the mathematical architect of GPS, Dr. West herself, she preferred using paper maps. She said, "I'm a doer, hands-on kind of person. If I can see the road and see where it turns, I am more sure." I just love that.
You know, this quote from the end of her memoir is just so powerful, and it perfectly sums up her life. It's not about fame or recognition. It's about this profound, humble satisfaction in knowing she gave everything she had, used every single bit of her talent, and left absolutely nothing on the table. Dr. West's story is such a powerful reminder that our modern world is built on the quiet, often unrecognized brilliance of countless people. So the next time you pull out your phone for directions, just take a moment and ask yourself, whose hidden genius are you relying on today?